Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Paranormal Plus. We got Gary Spike Sr., Judy's in the house, and Crystal. Welcome, Crystal. Standing Stones. Hello there, everybody. Good evening for a Wednesday evening. And how you doing there, Tracy?
I am doing very well, Chris. I have had a good week. That song TTYL got released yesterday to country radio, so hopefully somebody will pick it up and listen to it. They'll play it for me on the radio. That'd be nice.
All right. Welcome, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. We got Trista.
So I'd like to ask everybody that's joining
Roger Blair, Joanne Stewart,
if they heard, if they watched the episode Grizzly was on Friday night. How many people out there got to watch it? He had an anniversary episode out there, and a lot of people called in, a lot of his respected friends. And I sent in a video because I had a lot of stuff going on. But, Grizz is a very respected person in this business. To me, he is anyway. And with all those other people on there, it's true. So what'd you think about that, Chris?
Well, like I said, and you wasn't there, right? So I believe in my co-host, and I believe in what we do. We would not be where we're at today if it wasn't be for our followers. And do we set the bar high? Yes, we do. But that's the way we do things. And I think we are professional about everything. And that's the way and how we roll with Grizzly and affiliates and our sponsors. Yep. So, and I take pride, and like I tell the audience, I don't dictate Tracy. When I came to Tracy to do Paranormal Plus, Tracy had no idea I was coming to him, and there were a lot of people who were like, "Why not me?" Well, that's my call, and it's it's up to me. But I put people in positions because I believe in them, and I love to promote. And Tracy gets to do his own thing. And I do not tell Tracy his limitations. He knows what he can and cannot do, and he does his own thing. So, and I have faith in you, Tracy, and I didn't get to tell you that to your face, so I'm telling you that now.
Well, I appreciate that, Grizz, and I have nothing but the utmost respect for you and what you do. And I'm proud to be your co-host on this show right here. And I'm glad that you asked me 6 or 7 months ago to do this. It's been a highlight of my year. I can definitely say that. And, I'm here for you for anything. And like I said, with all those people that were on that show and that were, that I saw in private texts and stuff before that, and, they got a lot of respect out there and something to be proud of.
Well, and I think we earned it. So what we got rolling tonight?
Tonight we have Brady Goebel on, and I'm going to read his what he had sent me for his bio here, and we're going to let him explain it. Brady Goebel of Chasing Paranormal joins the podcast to speak about the upcoming episodes that are set to be released through the Spirit Realm Network. Him and his wife, Lexi, recently filmed their first episodes for Spirit Realm Network at multiple historic locations with otherworldly claims for their series. And now Brady, of course, is sitting down with me and Grizz to talk about it. And they have investigated and filmed at some of the Midwest's most haunted landmarks that are not known to many. So that's something we got to ask them about, right? Starting with their series in 2021, the two film and edit the episodes themselves and are taking on their biggest adventures yet with their debut season. So it's kind of exciting to have somebody on there that is just starting into that realm, Spirit Realm Network. So
right. Well, come on down, Brady. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how's it going, you guys? Thanks for having me on.
Welcome. Introduce yourself. Tell everybody all about you.
I'm Brady. I am the co-host of Chasing Paranormal. My wife and I do this all entirely by ourselves. We've been doing it since April 21. We did it 2 years independent, and then we grew up with the Spirit Realm Network, which is a newer network that came out a few years back to release our content through them. So that's what's going to be coming up in 2024 for all of us. So
awesome.
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, Gary?
Are you there?
All right. Yeah, you just now popped up on mine. How you doing, Brady?
Oh, did I disappear?
No, Tracy did.
I did. Okay. Yeah, I'm breaking down and buying a whole computer system for the next one. I'm done with. I don't have great Wi-Fi here. Maybe I just need to find something that can boost my Wi-Fi here at this place. So, but hey, I read off your bio. I appreciate you sending that to us. I'd like to get down to the nitty gritty of Chasing Paranormal. A lot of people on here watching. Can you explain to us what that is and walk us through it?
So my wife and I, we have always had a connection through music and history, and our love for the paranormal was always there too. And we always went out, and we would always go to historic places, cemeteries, wherever we can go to that has any historic ties or paranormal ties to it. And we wanted to eventually just make a podcast and go over all these stories and everything about our adventures. And then it ended up into a whole spectrum of us making a docuseries. So then we ended up going out to this place called Big Winnie back in September of 2021. And it is a 5th generation owned Native American property. It's a resort currently. Yep. It's a former German prisoner of war camp. We went out there and filmed our first pilot, if you'd say, that we released on Facebook and YouTube, and we were new to it, like raw as can be. And we got some pretty incredible footage out of that one. So we kept going on and filmed at the Boyd House in February 2022, and that's a very popular location now in southern Minnesota. At the time, it really wasn't that well known. And we ended up releasing that in October. And then we filmed at a jail in Iowa right after that. And then it all leads up to the Spirit Realm right now, where we just filmed at 3 locations. So we filmed 3 before, and now we're doing our debut season for the Spirit Realm.
So how many episodes do you have to do for them?
We have filmed 4 full episodes right now. So
okay. Is there just curious, is there like a contract for that, or is it,
Yeah. Yep. We have set amount of episodes we're doing for them. We have currently filmed at Edinburgh Manor. That's out in Scottsgrove, Iowa. That doesn't really fit the criteria of like the whole not heard of locations, but it's a bucket list location for us. So we ended up going there, and we did the whole 12,000 square foot by ourselves and caught some pretty awesome stuff. So we're just about finished edit with that one. Then we went to a place in Hastings, Minnesota called the Leduc Historic Estate, which was built in 1865. It's a Civil War era Victorian style mansion that General William Leduc and his 2 other members of his family reportedly haunt. And then we got into the Palmer House in Sauk Center, Minnesota. And only 2 other filming crews have been out there. It's Ghost Adventures and the Dead Files, and we were the 3rd.
Oh, that's
cool.
So,
yeah, I mean, it's a very, very lockdown location. They do events there, but we were the 3rd people to actually film there ever. So, I mean, it was a great privilege, and we got some pretty awesome stuff out there, too. So, I mean, I'm very happy with the road trip. And
So Edinburgh Manor, my wife and I went up there, I think 2 summers ago, and that's so far. And I haven't been to as many as like Grizz and other people have been to. But that one there so far has been the scariest one for me. Just creepy, not scary, creepy.
Yeah, when Lexi was walking around there, she said like every room had its own feeling. You know what I mean? And she just, I don't know. It was a very unique experience. I can say that everywhere in that building, you could feel something was there. You know,
what evidence did you get there? If you don't mind me.
We got a lot of EVPs. I mean, like Spirit Box, if I go that spectrum, voices. A lot of different voices that came through more than one spirit than I believe, different types that came through multiple times. We got multiple anomalies, and I'm saying like actual anomalies, not dust or whatever. We break it down a lot of video and audio. So we were pretty pleased with it.
Oh, good. So where I'm trying to think here. What? God damn, I just lost my train of thought, Grizz. The ghost has got me here. It's invaded my head. No, Edinburgh Manor was awesome for us. We had cat balls that were just going off like crazy, right? And when you'd ask them to stop, it'd stop. The EMF was going crazy. We used a spirit box as well, got a lot of different things. My wife would not go in there after dark. She stayed out in the car, and I was in there with Kat and Will Armstrong. They're from that area. They do a lot of hunts there, and they're the ones that actually invited us up there to go. And it was just that basement at midnight is just creepy.
It is a different feeling, man. It really is. I mean, it echoes when you're down there. Your voice just carries through the whole basement. You know, you could click your tongue and you're on the other end. It's just such a big place. It really is.
So the place you went, that you're only the third person to go to, third people to hunt. What was the draw for that? How can you can you explain how you even heard of that place? I mean, I'm assuming through the Ghost Adventures or something, but
this goes back. I mean, this place is only a few hours away from us. My wife and I, we've always been big into reading about haunted locations. So we've known about this place for probably, 13, 14 years. My parents went out there before there was any filming crews there and actually heard kids in the hallways. Or no, my aunt actually went out there before my parents had heard kids in the hallways. Then my parents went there and had their hair pulled, lights turned on. So yeah, I had a different accounts from families that I heard. So we always wanted to go out there. So when we filmed this, we reached out right away. And this was a 2-year process to even get through the door.
Wow. So
it happened, and it was an experience we won't forget. It was awesome, man. It really was.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. Grizz, you ever been anywhere like that where nobody else has hunted?
No, usually everybody's been there, unless you count out in the country, the old cemeteries that hasn't been visiting, in a long time. So,
because it's a running operational hotel, but at the same time, you have to book out a room to even investigate one single room. So to privately investigate from top to bottom, we were the third to do it. Besides, if they do walkthrough tours, they'll do them in the basement, that's where the main activity of it is. But yeah, no one else was in the building but us. So it's pretty intense feeling the whole time with the energy that's there, especially. So.
No, that's awesome. We did McPike Mansion a few years ago in St. Louis. I'm from the St. Louis area, and my wife and I spent the night there in a room that the guy killed him. One of the guys killed himself and stuff. But after 10:30 at night, they do let you hunt the entire place. You just obviously can't go in the rooms where people are in. And as we were walking through, there's another team, I think maybe 2 teams that were walking through and hunting the same night too. And, mansion's only so big, you only share so much room, but it was a good time. Definitely a good time.
Yeah. Awesome.
So Brady, Sarah has a question for you. Why do investigators prefer investigating virgin territories versus ones that have been well trodden on?
Well, because it's a common belief is that, everybody has different exercises of investigating. So it is believed that people's way of investigating, if they don't close it properly, it can bring in something that wasn't there before. So if you're going to an area that's had something happen where nobody's really dug in and opened up any type of paranormal investigation, or any type of energy that they could have brought in, that's mainly why. We like going to places with the history to validate what's there. And some places they can bring energies in, if it's mass, every day investigated. Everybody has different ways of investigating, so that's really what it all comes down to.
And Robert wants to know too, has he ever investigated a house where people live and think it's been haunted?
No, we have not currently in what we are doing now. No, we aren't doing any residentials for what we were doing at the time. I don't know about the future, but we're kind of sticking to the historic paranormal aspect of it all currently. So
awesome.
Yep.
Yeah. Residential can get kind of stressful.
Yeah. We're kind of newer to it, and I don't want to step my feet into areas that I'm not comfortable with. Yeah. We went face to face with some darker stuff, I feel, but I want to be a little bit more used to it before I step into all these residentials,
Yeah. Grizz, I don't know about you, but whenever I've done residential stuff, it's almost like the people are there. They're expecting you to get something.
Yeah.
But they're embarrassed if you don't get something, and it can really, it can really put a lot of stress on you as the person trying to hunt, because you're really wanting to help these people. And like us, our group, that paranormal, we never charge anybody to do a private residence, we're just wanting to help them. But yeah, there's a few times we didn't get nothing, and a few times we did get stuff. So,
yeah,
yeah,
I mean,
that's
down the road when we get more comfortable with communicating and everything, maybe that is there. But as of now, we're kind of just sticking to our guns and and leaving that to people that know what they're doing over there.
So the Spirit Realm Network, how do people? Is that where do people see that at? Can you explain it to them in case somebody doesn't
go
know?
to Facebook and type in Spirit Realm Network. It is their main Facebook page that they're always running, and they promote through it. They do live streams often. That's what Spirit Realm really kicked off as a live streaming. They set live stream cameras up in certain haunted locations across the United States. And you can go on the spiritrealm.net and go check out live virtual cameras all the time. And then they decided to expand it and reached out to us to be the first series that they signed on in July. So we're the first we're a docu-series. So we're the first series they've taken on for the Spirit Realm. And then we're going to be announcing how our episodes will come out in 2024. So there's a whole process that's coming ahead with how to view our episodes and everything. So
that's awesome, man. That is awesome. What about I'm assuming that they have a YouTube channel and stuff like that as well, or
Yeah. I mean, it's primarily right now they built through Facebook. They have a YouTube too, but their Facebook, they mainly have a Facebook audience to start, but they're working on something right now, and then we can really announce how it's going to go in the future from here on out with them. So,
well, I was just curious in case some people get on Facebook and they're having issues or something, if they can just go watch your episode on YouTube. So I'm imagining that would come up, and eventually you're going to have it on there as a replay or something, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, that's cool. That's cool. Sarah, what is the docuseries doing to support these haunted locations?
Well, we go there for more than just the haunt itself. We go for the history. So there's a lot of hidden history there that when we went to Big Winnie, a lot of local people around here had no idea even existed. So it ended up, we released this episode, and there's a hidden place over an hour away from us that has a prisoner of war camp on it, from the World War II era. And it's 5 generations deep of a haunting that no one really knows about. So when you bring the history aspect in enough, that's reward for us. That's what I feel is teaching the history even more than the paranormal. So,
gotcha.
That's
no, that's awesome. I'm an EMF guy. Grizzly is an EVP guy. What are you guys?
We are more old school. I mean, we're using EVPs, EMFs. We'll use our SB7. We have great luck with an SB7. I've had historical validation in place if we went with the SB7. So we'll use a lot of EVPs and EMFs. I mean, we're equal to both. EMFs, like we'll use our K2 because it's just straight up. I know it's just a 9-volt battery hooked up, and And if you know where you're at, if there's not running wires or something, then you'll kind of understand the whole scenario.
Yeah, definitely. Well, you noticed, when you were at Edinburgh, did they have all the cameras out?
No.
Okay. I know when we went up there with that group, they actually ran like thousands of feet of wiring throughout that whole place to put cameras they're wired cameras, obviously. And I didn't know if they left them up for other people or not. So sorry, got off the subject there.
No, that's totally fine. No, we covered that with our cameras and stuff, but they didn't have any running there at all. Nothing. It was bare bones.
Where you're from Minnesota, up in northern Minnesota, right?
Northern Minnesota.
What's the furthest away place you've gone to? I mean, where do you guys? I know you like to stick around the area, but
Edinburgh. That was about a 7.5-hour drive for us.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we're a few hours away from Canada. So I mean, if you're going down there, that was about 7.5, and then we did that in Leduc back to back, pretty much. So that was about 4 hours away from us. Leduc was. So we keep it kind of in the Midwest for now until, more trying to find what we can up here before we go elsewhere.
Have you thought about going into Canada? Have you ever investigated anything in there or even looked into it?
That'd be awesome, though. That would be awesome.
I'm just curious. I've been through International Falls. I went to center of Ontario, land of 1,000 lakes, whatever, fishing before for a couple weeks. And it's just like nothing. You get to, a big town, and then it's 2 hours of nothing. And then another big town. I'm just curious if living up in there, if you've ever even heard of anything across the border being haunted, or the potential for being haunted.
Absolutely. What was that? Sorry, you cut out.
Oh, am I cutting out again, Grizz?
No,
Yeah.
no, on my end you did. Sorry. What'd you say?
So Sarah says, with electrical equipment that you use, Brady, how do you differentiate picking up on energetic imprints of the living versus disembodied phenomenon?
We will pull out our EMF meters when we have absolutely nothing electrical on us. We'll keep our phone in a separate room. We'll keep everything away. We will not usually use K2s if there's any running electricity in a room, pretty much, because when we've ran it, it'll make it spike up to yellow, and that'll just immediately affect it. So we'll kind of use it in areas where we have nothing with any type of energy source on us at all. So there'd be no reason for any type of energy to interfere with what we're doing, because all of our stuff usually runs with batteries. So, I mean, we're not, just besides that, we have nothing else wired around the room for it to pick up.
Right. Awesome.
Yep. Like Edinburgh, we made sure we were in areas where there was nothing at all. I mean, because it was completely just, yeah. So we didn't get much EMF there. Palmer House, quite a bit, we would get EMF. That was, so yeah, we go with EMF and EVP as well as you guys do.
Have you tried the SLS camera on anything?
We've not. I've never tried an SLS.
Okay.
Have you tried one before?
Oh yeah. I own two of them, but just for the fact that I got them a really good deal on them. I've used them, and Grizz and I have talked before about it. There's some times when you know that it is working, but there's a lot of times you can debunk it, 100% debunk it. But there are those few times here and there that it's working.
Kind of blows your mind. It'll be.
Oh yeah. When it can be a pretty useful piece of equipment. So what, you talked about all these places you've gone to. What has been the one that surprised you the most, as far as being haunted versus, you're thinking it's just going to be blah, but it ended up being, wow, holy cow.
For me, it would probably be Big Winnie. That's probably a location like to say we were one of the first to go there and actually try that type of communication. And we got validating information, even to the point where they're saying the new owner's name multiple times.
Wow.
And it came through. Yeah. I mean, it was truly incredible. He held a spirit box, had no idea what it was. And they wouldn't respond to me. I handed it to him, and immediately it said Arnold. And that was his name. And it said Arnold. And then it even said Seed, which was his nickname growing up as a kid. So to me, it was kind of like, wow, it was just mind blowing. So that to me is definitely the one. That's the place for me. So.
Okay. And then do you have any encounters that you were just like, I'm getting out of this place, or close to it? You know what I mean? Or your wife even?
We had a filming where something recently grabbed Lexi on the ankle, and that was enough for her to. She doesn't get afraid easily, and that one scared the crap out of her.
Grabbed her on the ankle.
We didn't stop. We didn't really stop, but it startled her. That was one for her, and for me, I haven't seen any type of apparition, but I've had a lot of chilling cold spots. And if you've been around those cold spots, and there's been times where it's just completely warm, and out of nowhere it's as cold as a freezer. And it's, and them are the ones that really stand out. We had one of those moments at Big Winnie and just recently at the Palmer House, where you just know they're right by you. And them for me is the cold spots that have really stood out.
Grizz, what are you doing when somebody grabs your ankle and you don't see anybody there?
Run.
That was a weird one. I'm excited to release that one.
So you mentioned a few of the places in the Midwest. In your bio, you were talking about stuff that hasn't really been investigated before, and that is cool. Am I breaking up, or am I all right?
No, you're good, man.
Okay. Is there anything out there that you're like, man, it's only a 4-hour drive, we've got to investigate that, or it's not open yet, they're for investigation, or anything like that? Is there any place like that for you right now?
Yeah, there's a place in Minneapolis that they just recently reopened, and it's a area where they used to have mafia. They had a mafia shootout there, is what they claim. The mobsters were there back in the 50s, or 40s or 50s, and they said that there was a shootout in the caves that this was, and they haven't allowed anybody in there to investigate in quite a while. And that's one location I'd really like to get into,
wow,
just because of the history of it alone and the whole mob ties. But other than that, I mean, we've already covered Palmer House. So that's about 2 away, Boyd House. There's another location by Duluth that we really like to look at.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So, I mean, there's a few that we're going to work on. So
Prospecting says run and change his pants. Like grabs her ankle, huh? Got to remember Grizzly's the guy that had a heart attack over a man on a bicycle. Yeah, Grizzly was doing a paranormal hunt in a cemetery for Halloween, wasn't it? Or just right before Halloween with your daughter?
Yeah, right before Halloween, and a ghost. It was a half of a moon come running at me. And I froze. I didn't grab a camera or nothing. I was live. I was in the middle of talking. And I thought I was going to have a heart attack. And I didn't know what to do. I froze. And it turned out to be a guy on a bicycle. Now, who the hell rides a bicycle in the middle of a cemetery at night?
That would be petrified.
Yeah, you should have saw my face. So,
yeah. You didn't pull out something and whack him in the head.
Oh, that'd be so scary.
So yeah, everybody got a good kick out of it. So
yeah.
Sarah says, Brady, is there a major difference in paranormal culture in the Midwest versus the coastal regions?
Not that I've noticed. Would you say?
I can't say I mean, I know a lot of people in the paranormal. Grizzly knows a lot more than me. Maybe he can answer that. I don't really know too many on the coastal side.
Yeah, no, I'm more in the Midwest that I'll know, but
the only thing that I can say is that maybe religion and heritage can play a role in some investigations. Land, indigenous tribes, stuff like that. That can play a role. History can play a role.
Well said. Yeah, that's a good way to answer it.
Hey Brady, have you had any items that you brought home with you or that you were told not to take home with you because of potential attachments to it? Or do you believe in that?
I do. I leave stuff. Yeah, I'm not bringing anything with me. No way. Yeah, no, I play it safe when I'm there. I'm not doing any of that. Have you before?
No, and it's weird. And we'll let Grizzly say his piece here in just a second. We bring home antique toys all the time. My wife and I, we go antique, and we try to go every weekend or at least every couple weekends. And we say a prayer when we grab it. We tell it when we get in the car, get out of the car. You're not allowed here. And we say a prayer before we come into the door. Now I'm going to let Grizzly, he can expand on his experiences.
I got my holy water, my anointment oil, my crucifixes. I got all my faith religious objects. So yes, make sure and tell the objects that, the no attachments can come home. Bless them and say a prayer. If not, you can open up the door to possible problems at home. Trust me, we found that out in my studio. So yes.
So is there still anything in that studio, Grizz?
Yes, I still have activity. That's why on certain shows we use the cat balls and the REM pods and so forth. It's crazy. At one time, my poltergeist activity was so severe, I had to put extra cameras up in the studio to show people that Grizzly was not playing tricks. That things were actually being thrown. My backdrops were being broken down and tossed. And people were like, did you see that? And I would have dolls that I would pick up, and a doll would wink. And some of the dolls I have don't have blinky eyes. So it is incredible. And people are like, the doll just winked. I'm like, I told you the doll just winked. They're like, well, it's got blinky eyes, and I have to show the doll no blinky eyes. And people would jump off the live and rewind the show, be like, oh,
it did. It's eye-opening stuff.
Yeah, awesome. Right there live on the show, and you cannot debunk this stuff. I'll be sitting there talking to Brady, and all of a sudden, a cat ball will come hit me in the middle of the head. And you'd be like, "What the hell happened?" I'm like, and I just had freaky stuff in the studio. I'm just telling you.
That's
So
awesome.
look, they're telling you Gary Spikes is telling Brady it was hilarious. No, it wasn't. It freaked me.
Hey, there's proof it happened.
Hey, it's funny now, but it wasn't at the time because it freaked
Oh
me out.
no.
I mean, I was like sitting here with holy water, throwing them on all over the dolls, like during live shows, turning the cameras off and freaking out. And
That's just mind blowing that happened.
Yes, wow. Very, very.
So, yeah, we've interviewed a lot of people over the last 7 months, 8 months, and there's Corbin Bentley. He has his doll that is an attachment that he picked up from years ago. A lot of people just straight up believe in it, and I think we've had a couple that have said that they don't believe in the attachment stuff, but for the majority, everybody believes in it. And to me, like I said, I don't want them in the house. This is the only house I've ever lived in that I feel safe, that nothing's come home with me and nothing's there, other than the Indian that was here for a little bit, but I got rid of that. You always make an offering. So that was another thing. I was going to, what about you or your wife? Have you guys ever noticed any change in you guys since all this has started? Because sometimes when you get an attachment, after what we've talked with people about, right, that have experienced it, and Grizzly's, he's experienced it with people too, talked with people about it. Sometimes when you get an attachment, mine was an Indian that evidently had been with me most of my life. I gave it an offering and it went away. But have you or your wife ever experienced anything like that?
We thankfully have not had any type of attachment. There is times when we're at locations where we can get kind of like, we notice our personalities will entirely change. Like in there, I can tell that something's affecting us. But usually I feel like we close it out enough at the end of the night to where we don't bring it home with us. We've never had an issue because when I get home, I'm more drained than anything. Yeah. Like, I kind of have the hangover, they call it. But yesterday I just felt completely drained. That's kind of more of anything than what I get, but we've never had an attachment, thankfully. And nothing that's really changed or affected us at home. So
Sarah wants to know, Brady, do you have any funny particular stories during your investigations?
I just tend to run into a lot of things because I'm a tall guy and I hit my head on a lot. So a lot of our footage we roll through, it's a lot of ows and me running into things. And we'll have nothing really that great because we're all serious when we're there usually.
Well, that brings up a good point. I didn't even think to ask this. When you guys are out there doing your hunts and filming, is it just you and her?
Entirely.
Or excuse me?
It's entirely just us. Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious if you had a camera person there to film.
No, so what we'll do is we'll get the locations and we'll do all the B-roll. We'll do walkthrough interviews. Usually she'll film she has the better steady hand with camera and she's better with it. So she'll get all the shots during the interview process and we'll do the night investigation together. And yeah, we do everything from top to bottom. All by ourselves. Awesome. Yeah. I mean, every single bit you're watching is Lexi and I entirely. So.
Oh, that's cool, man. That to me, it's so time consuming.
Yeah. I mean, it's time consuming and it's a thing, but I just want to, I went into it as a skeptic and I just wanted to prove to myself they were real. And now I just want to prove to people that the paranormal is real because it's eye opening. It truly is. And I feel like with the two of us, we're getting more evidence because there's less people there. And when we're just bringing you a raw investigation with what we have, it's more of a real deal. And we can prove it to you. Now it's just the two of us. Everybody that's met us knows it's just the two of us. And that's what we're going to keep bringing as long as we can. So, I don't know what opportunities are ahead in the future, but as of now, it's just us. So
without giving away where it's at, so people, when they come to watch it, they're not just going to one episode. But do you have anything on tape that you're like, this could be a good defining moment for you and her in the paranormal field,
Yeah, I mean, we've had a lot of audio luck throughout. Before us signing the Spear one, we had a lot of audio luck, but we ended up getting a lot of actual video footage of some incredible stuff that made us even go like, wow, some stuff that really made us just blew our minds, and we're really excited to share it with people because it's actual video evidence. So, and that's 3 different locations we got it so far.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
So, I mean, for some reason they communicate with us when we're there, and we've just had luck. So. Really exciting times to release it all.
Sarah wants to know, Brady, aside for proving paranormal is real, what other paranormal goals do you have?
Well, paranormal goals. I just want to grow more as an investigator. I want to learn more on certain topics as an investigator. I'm learning more every time I go out. We're going to be diving into new equipment eventually, I'm hoping. And then there's certain locations that we also have as goals too. Like my goal is always I want to go to Alcatraz. That's my end goal. I mean, that's just for me. Has always been. I love it. She has her own. Where's your location? Yeah, no. For me, it's Alcatraz. That would be my paranormal goal. For me, that would be my real top of the notch.
That's awesome.
So is there anything else that in a goal, what do you want hope for the community to get out of this? What kind of goal do you have? I think is what she's getting at as well as where you want to hunt, but what kind of goal do you have for maybe how to explain it, Grizz?
So what do you see the community? Where would you like the community to be?
The paranormal community together.
Yeah. What do you want and to answer that, what do you want your show to do with that? So you want your show to bring it together is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I mean, everything with the history and the paranormal, that's what it's all about for us. That's our goals. And I mean, we're trying to bring out unknown history. That's the end goal for me. And like I said, that's the paranormal goal and the history goal for us is going to hidden locations that just really no one know of. Yeah. That's front and forward completely.
That's awesome. I think that people that will be watching your show will be very interested, especially in the stuff that they don't get to go see every day. Like, I don't know if you guys heard, I guess Bobby Mackey's is going under remodel or something now so it's going to be
got to be there, man. We never got to go there.
Yeah, we haven't got to go there. Now they're not closing; they're just getting remodeled.
Just doing the remodel still, but the original would be cool to see. It would have been cool to have seen it.
Well, they say when and Grizz, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I was always told when something's getting remodeled during that time frame, that's when they really become active because they don't like to see
ramp it up. That is correct.
Yeah, we went to a location where they were remodeling at the time, and it ramped it up as well. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, and the people that we've done private hunts for have said the same thing. We're like, hey, have you remodeled recently, or you're in the middle? You could tell they're in the middle of remodeling, and that's when it seems to add up. Sarah agrees too. Remodels definitely ramp up activity. Yeah, I was just bringing that up about Bobby Mackey's. I thought that was just kind of interesting. I knew that's a big topic amongst people right now. We're talking about it. Yeah, so with the new people watching, I would hope that when they watch your show that they can experience what your experience, which is obviously the big goal too. Absolutely. But also spreading the positivity to them to make them want to join. And we talked about this many times. People take 3 weeks sometimes to get an 8 hours or a half hour footage for a show, right?
Yeah,
people sometimes throw stuff in there, and that's the claim by other people that are in the same business, up higher in the business. So I would think that with what you guys are doing, I think that the people that will join in to watch will realize you're a ethical, no nonsense, just going to get the stuff out there that they want to see. So that's awesome. That's cool.
Yeah, no, and that answers a question I just saw about what makes our show unique compared to others. Is that it's just the two of us. Where you'll see other shows where they have big production crews and everything, it's just entirely us from start to finish. There's no one else behind the camera besides Lexi holding it or myself. So that is what makes us entirely unique. You're getting a raw experience from our view at locations not many people have been allowed to go into. So, I mean, it's just a totally different experience, and we're just going in to try and bring you new history and prove the paranormal is real. That's our end goal. That's what makes us unique.
I know what Grizzly would do, and I'm pretty sure I know what Grizzly do. I know what I would do. But what if you go into one of these places and you have to prepare yourself? You said at the beginning you were a skeptic, and now you've kind of gone into where you believe. You definitely believe now. What if you run into a demon or something like that? Just curiosity, morbid curiosity for myself. Like I said, I know what I do, and I'm pretty sure what Grizzly do. What are you guys going to do in that situation?
Well, I would try immediately. I'd do some sort of prayer because Lexi's a spiritual one more than myself. She is. So she would kind of go that route, and I'd reach out to somebody in the field that actually knows how to handle it. There's a lot of people that we know out there, and I wouldn't do something, I'm not going to go and do something without checking in with somebody first. So I think there's enough connections out there, someone that could give me advice before I do something I don't know what I'm doing. But I haven't had that issue yet. So
Yeah.
What you guys do? This is good for me to know. I'm going to ask you guys.
Well, and everything you encounter is not evil or a demon.
No, absolutely. So that's why
I'm just saying that one time. That's all I'm saying, Grizz, that one time. I mean, what have you ever encountered something like that, Grizz?
I mean, I've encountered evil spirits. I don't think I ever really encountered anything, demonic. But when all else fails, I have prayers that can go and cover generational curses and other things that are biblical that I have in my bag of tricks. So, and I have, of course, my crucifixes, my holy water, my anointment oil with all the prayers, and I know they work because people tell me they work.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it doesn't work the first time, and I don't give that false hope or false promise to people anytime that they reach out for help. But sometimes, it takes several times. Just like when you go to cleanse a house, sometimes it takes 2 or 3, 4 times to clear a house. Sometimes you may need backup.
Oh yeah,
depends on how the spirit is that's in that house that's occupied. They may not want to leave, or you just need some help. So every instance that you come across of will not probably be the same. It'll probably be a little different.
Well, thank you for explaining that. I get that.
Yeah.
So Brady, when you have you guys ever thought about when you're doing your show and here in the future, not every show like that or anything, but do you think there will ever be a need to bring on a medium or something like that for an episode or anything?
We actually brought out somebody that we had a friend of ours recommend to us to go to Big Winnie and do an investigation. She was a psychic medium, and she came out. So we've already had a medium on for an episode, and that'll be coming to the spirit realm. So
how did that work out? I'm curious.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. I've never been around a psychic medium before, and it was mind blowing. Yeah, it really opened my eyes up more than ever. It was insanely accurate. I don't know how they knew so much. Yeah, but it's insane when you're around it for the first time. Have you guys both been around that before?
Oh yes, I deal with them on a regular basis.
Yeah, and I mean, it was me. That was my first time, and it was just really, it's mind blowing what can go on.
Grizzly actually does some podcasts with mediums. Yes, they're really interesting. Really? Get an opportunity to check them out sometime. They're pretty good.
Awesome. I'll have to do that.
Trying to read through. I don't see if there's another question here. So with that being said, with the psychics, is there anything else that you would say in the future might be something that you would take with you on one of those journeys, right? Other than just a medium, are you ever going to dive into? I know you guys don't want to add another group because that's your niche. You got 2 people in it. Is there anything out there that would help you? If you understand where I'm getting at?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If there's certain questions that we need, we can reach out to certain people in the field. There's different types of people that specialize in certain things. We know a guy that does investigating, certainly just only through a board. That's his way of forms of investigating. So that's how we would go out for our extra help is, and what we're looking for, science, so be it a psychic medium. We will bring people on if we need it. I'm not going to hold that back. No.
Now, something that's near and dear to Grizzly's heart. What are your thoughts on the cryptids, Bigfoot and Dogman and stuff like that? Have you guys ever even thought about not really diving into it, but what are your thoughts on it? I'm sure you've heard about them. Right?
I was telling him when you cut out at the beginning before the show started that we're only about 45 minutes away from Reamer, Minnesota. We're finding Bigfoot. Came out to film for Sasquatch sightings. It's one of the biggest areas, I guess, in the Midwest for Sasquatch sightings. I haven't seen them myself. There's some guys I'm mutual friends with on Facebook that are right near me that are constantly going out there. They do an event yearly for it. So yeah, I'd like to go out there and at least see what they do sometime if they'd ever be willing to show, because that's new territory to me. I'm open to believing in a lot. Like I didn't believe in aliens, and that's kind of more of I'm believing in it now. Bigfoot, that's another thing. I believe, I'm more skeptical on it, but apparently it's so close to me. I'd really like to learn about that as well. So we'll see what the future holds. Maybe.
Sounds like that's where you need to go, Grizz.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just, if it works out, we can cross paths with the right people to learn from the right people about what's going on.
Yeah. Do you find any correlation between cryptid sightings and UFO activity? What's your standing on that, Sarah asks?
I'm not sure. See, this is new territory to me. When I came in, I was a skeptic. So I'm just now starting to dive into like reading about aliens and the Bigfoot. For me, it's more of the paranormal. My wife, she's more into the alien aspect of it and the cryptids, like, like Mothman, that kind of stuff, but not more me. So,
Grizz showed a video a while back, and it's a Bigfoot and how they can almost do like Predator, the movie Predator. They can change to their surroundings, which is why they're so hard to locate.
really?
Yeah. So to me, it would only make sense that there's a part of it has to be maybe alien like. What do you think, Grizz?
It's everybody's got their own professional opinion on what these creatures or beings are and what they can and cannot do. Only thing I know is that they do exist. They are out there. I've seen them. What they are capable of doing, we cannot understand. We just cannot fathom. And I always go back to electrical eel theory, right? Back in the day when somebody got close to the eel or touched it, it knocked the hell out of them. Did it or did it not? And they didn't know what caused that. They didn't know about electricity. They thought it was evil. And they thought it was Satan and it was bad. So, and they didn't have the knowledge to understand how it worked and what produced that to shock them or what to call it. So they described it in their own language, in their own native tongue. And I think we are the same way when it comes to certain topics, whether it's cryptids or UFOs or aliens. I think that's the way it is. And we just don't comprehend. We got the quantum mechanics, the quantum theory, the string theories. We know we live in a 3-dimensional world and there's up to 11 dimensions, right? So we know we only can see in a certain spectrum. We know animals can see in other spectrums and also hear in different frequencies than us. So there's a plethora that we have to learn and try to understand. So it's just, I don't think anyone's wrong, but I don't think everyone's right as well. So,
Yes, yeah. I don't know enough about it to make an opinion. See, so I'm glad you said something. So thanks. That's
absolutely. So yes, but it is a very good topic. And the first time you see one, and I met a lot of people that never recovered from have a sighting, and they do not go hunting anymore, or fishing, hiking, or camping because of it. And they're traumatized because
just afraid they're going to run into one again or something.
Well,
like that.
They were taught what to believe in and what is real and what is not as real, right? And you were taught this your whole life, and you're out in the woods hunting, and next thing you know, you got this 8-foot creature shaking your deer stand, and you're looking eye to eye, and you're locked with it with eyes, and you're in disbelief because you're like, it's real, and this is a monster, right? But then you also have reports that it looks human. So we know different parts of the country, they look different. And and that's another show. We can just go.
Say it's like different breeds of
right. So, but yeah, and like Sarah says, PTSD and worse. I know people that have taken their lives over it because of their encounters, and it's just sad. But there are things in this world, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's paranormal, cryptid, UFO related, aliens, or whatnot, that exist. And if you never experience it, it's because you're sitting at home watching TV. Now, if you go out in the woods or go to these locations, if you never seen spirit and you see spirit or have activity, like you said, once a skeptic, now a believer, right? So, and right now there are a lot of hunters that are non-believers in cryptids becoming believers at this moment as we speak because of deer hunting. And they are coming out and running across these creatures or beings or whatever you want to call them. And this is where we get a lot of reports. So it's interesting. So yes, I understand where you're coming from. But if you ever want to have a good time and really change your perspective on life, go out with your friends on Bigfoot and get into Bigfootery a little bit.
We've walked the woods and stuff, to look for the markings and stuff, and we just have never had luck.
Well, let me tell you something. There are people out there 30 plus years in the woods and never had a sighting. Really? And there are people that go out the first, second, third time and come across, and it's just, like I said, it's just we can do a whole nother topic, another show on that.
You kind of got to know what you're looking for too, right? The knocks and all that stuff as well.
It's just the signs and, the patterns and, just like Sarah says, just like investigating the 5-star hotels. These things are creature of habits, just like humans. And if once you learn their routine, it's not hard to find them. So, but you have to learn the patterns.
Yeah. So, I was a skeptic myself, Brady, about, I've always grown up thinking that there was something out there, but I've never really seen any proof. And to each of us, we all get our own proof throughout the years. And I was at Ashmore Estates there in Charleston, Illinois. Yep. And we were recording a tricycle on a level concrete floor, the third floor of that building. And sat there for 45 minutes asking questions and the EMFs going off. We're getting stuff on the spirits box. And then the last 10 minutes of it, absolutely nothing. But we kept asking that tricycle to move and nothing. And then our person that was doing the Facebook Live, she lowered the camera as we were walking out of the room because we thought we were done. And the next day we were looking at it. That tricycle rolled backwards without us watching it.
That is awesome.
Yeah. It's on our evidence tab on Paralink.com if you get a chance.
I'll have to go check that out after this.
Yeah, people have been posting some stuff on there. But really, I've investigated, just like Grizzly and I have talked before, I've investigated a lot of stuff, and there's times I go and I don't get nothing, but I don't go 2, 3, 4 nights in a row. When I go, it's just one night and one night. But
same as us. Yep.
That was really, really interesting to see that tricycle move. That's when I was like, man, that definitely confirmed that there's something out there. There's something that we're reaching for and that we can definitely find. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So how do people get a hold of you, Brady, and find you?
You can go on Facebook and look up Chasing Paranormal. I don't think there's any other groups called Chasing Paranormal. You can go on there. We have 3 old episodes that you can watch, and then all of our new ones are going to be coming to the spirit realm in 2024. So exciting times ahead for us. We filmed at Leduc Historic Estate, Edinburgh Manor, Palmer House, Big Winnie General Store. So 4 awesome locations filled with history on the paranormal.
That's awesome. Well, I appreciate you coming on the show, and you're always welcome to come back.
Awesome. Well, thanks for having me, you guys.
Yes.
Yeah. No. Hey.
Go ahead, Tracy.
No, thank you for coming on. Just so everybody knows, next week Kendall Welpington will be joining the show. He is actually a producer, and he's produced a lot of shows or movies that have been out over the last couple of years. His latest one is The Haunting Lodge, which is on all streaming platforms. So please tune in. And also make sure you guys check out Brady's stuff. Make sure you check out his show. I'm going to check it out. Go on there after this, and I'm interested in seeing what that's all about. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, so it's older stuff. It's all of our older stuff on YouTube. I mean, we've grown a lot since our first episode to now, and editing to filming, and our stuff that's coming to Spirit Realm is really top notch for us. So we're really excited to show how much we've grown and as investigators and as filmmakers. So we're really excited for it. And all that information will be coming very soon on our Facebook page. So
when you guys
Paranormal MN, and it's all on there.
When you guys make it huge, keep us in mind. Come back on with us.
Hey, man, it's reward enough teaching people about new locations and history. So, I don't know what the future holds, but It's been a good first few years for us here. So
That's
great.
awesome.
yeah, absolutely. And thanks again for having me, you guys.
Absolutely. And coast to coast around the world. Don't forget about the show at 9 o'clock. See you, everybody. Take care.
Bye.
Take care. Thanks, guys.